Hey, what's up out there? It's been a while since I posted a video. I apologize for that, but I decided to make a podcast style video once again, and I like doing these things. It's kind of something a little different, but relatively on the same topic, keeping it the same on the same category as what my channel is about. Um this is usually when I have stuff on my mind or I'm thinking about something and I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about this a little bit. It might be of interest to somebody. Today I'm going to talk about what I like to call deaf singing. So what deaf singing is, or what I describe as deaf singing, as you can probably imagine, is when you quite possibly can't hear yourself properly, so your vocals ends up suffering. So this is something I have fallen victim of quite a bit, especially in my older videos. So basically, I will sing with the melody or the music, and especially with the music. And when I sing, it's not graceful, and it comes out very exclamatory and I want to say vocal. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it's very like if you get what I mean. It's kind of hard to describe. But an example of this is my More Than Words video. I was trying to teach how the song More Than Words goes. And sometimes I get here and there I get some hate comments on that video, and I can't even blame them because like the vocals weren't even that good. I did do a mistake in that song. There's a couple mistakes I did. I don't even know why. Like the song is pretty easy. It's just a 2-part harmony and it's just a guitar. Well, that was back when I was a little bit more reckless. But anyway, so deaf singing, I've fallen short of this a lot, especially when I'm doing like background vocals. Like the harmonies will come out kind of not as graceful as it could have because I'm just kind of listening to the melody and paying less attention to what I'm doing. And in some of my tutorial videos, you may find examples of this. But how people deal with this is when you sing stuff, you can either hear yourself in your ears, like in your headphones. There's an option where you can hear yourself in real time, and that really helps. On this program that I use called Mixcraft, that is available to you. So you can hear yourself in the headphones. And this is something I was unaware about for a really long time, like way too long. I couldn't hear myself at all. And so I would always do the whole headphone off the ear thing. And I can imagine to some people that's distracting having to hear yourself. So maybe it's a preference that they have the whole one earphone off thing, which I do sometimes. But I also really do like having my own voice in the headphones so I can hear myself with the music. And it makes me able to pay more attention to what I'm doing. Although it's not, I feel like it's probably, I don't know if it's impossible or something, but on my program, it's not exactly real time, but it's so close. And for me, it works. Like it's so close that it's not distracting to me. Although my brother said to him it's distracting, but maybe his on his computer it doesn't work as well. I'm not sure, but this is actually a thing that happens with people who perform live as well. People who perform live, they have what they call ear monitors, and so they can hear themselves because often the crowd is way too loud, and so they want to be able to hear themselves and the music. So, for example, like if you're playing keyboards live, you want to be able to hear yourself so you can hear the keyboards in your monitor and you can hear your own voice. And apparently there is the option to choose whether or not you hear certain things. So, for example, I remember this was on a VHS tape that I got when I was a kid. It was maybe some of you have it. It's this Burger King Backstreet Boys VHS thing. It came with, I guess, a Burger King type deal, but I got it at a thrift shop, or not a thrift shop, a pawn shop. I got it at like some sort of pawn shop thing. Actually, no, I think it was like this used DVD VHS store, but for like it was mostly VHSs at the time. Like there was barely any DVDs in there because it was like a long time ago. But anyway, I remember Kevin describing the ear monitors and saying like they could choose who they hear. So for example, he was like, "Oh, I can choose to hear my own voice, or like my own voice and Brian's voice." So like basically what I'm imagining is they probably tune out like all the other guys who aren't Melody, so that they know like they know how to they they can sing harmony to the melody basically. So they can sing harmony to the melody without any other distractions. So I can imagine that, say in Kevin's case, he's gonna sing harmony because he sings harmony like most of the time. Like that's his spot. So he probably has, for example, maybe Brian sing melody with the instrumental and then himself in the monitor. So so that they don't so they either don't fall short of what I call deaf singing, and so they don't sing off pitch and everything. Because when I do this deaf singing, as I call it, I do tend to sing a little bit off key here and there. So that's the cool thing about having sort of the in-ear monitor things. And it's kind of modern technology, not really, but like during the time of the Beatles, like they really struggled with that because the crowd was so loud they couldn't hear themselves. And so like you can actually watch live performances of them like talking in the mic, going like, "Hello, hello, can you hear us?" Because we can't hear ourselves. But they seem to have managed. Like I guess they're a pretty talented band in the way they just kind of knew. If you listen to their live performances, they sound pretty good. But they struggle to hear themselves. So like I can imagine like even like singing harmony and well, I mean, I guess the drums may be loud enough to keep time, but it would be a struggle not hearing yourselves. Here's another example of sort of deaf singing and falling short with not being able to hear yourself. It's kind of this infamous thing where O Town, maybe some of you know about this, but one of their earliest performances of their first single ever, apparently their ear monitors went out and they couldn't hear themselves and they couldn't hear the music and stuff properly. And this was something that they relied on and something that they rehearsed. So there was some technical there were some technical difficulties and everything turned off. And then when they performed, it suffered a lot, and they ended up having what they considered a bad performance, and they got bad reviews because of it. And this was something that was extremely public at the time, and they were really down on themselves. But they explained that their ear monitors went out. So like in the beginning, and this is something you can research yourselves. In the beginning, like they had their ear monitors on, so everything was going fine, and then they went out, and then the vocals weren't so good, and they were deaf singing, as I like to say. We're like, yeah. Anyway, I already described it, and I don't have the proper words to describe it, but it's what I call deaf singing, and so does my brother. We both call it deaf singing. So, so that's sort of something that I always take account of nowadays. Back in the day, I didn't really know. I didn't really care. I didn't know what to do about it. Eventually, I'm like, oh, my vocals aren't sounding so good, and I know why. But nowadays, I'm very conscious about it, and so now I either use the one ear method where you pull off the earphone so you can hear yourself properly, or I use the in-ear thing, like where I hear my voice inside the inside my headphones. So just a little, I don't even know, like just a little thing to talk about. So here's another episode of that podcast thing. I don't think it's very long, just something I was thinking of. But anyway, peace and love. I'm gonna come out with some videos probably soonish. I mean, I have some songs in my mind. Anyway, bye.